All right, so as I said, today we're just going to cover, so we're just going to get a bit of a background about Kate and her company, her own business, what you need to know about teaching English online, and then what are the steps and some of our top tips to setting up your own company. And then at the end, we will do a Q&A session with Kate as well, okay? Just as well, guys, we have an exclusive discount code for this webinar. If you stick it out till the end, we will share the details for our courses, okay? So, Kate, welcome again. It's so great to have you here. I guess the first question would be if you could just give us a background about yourself and how did you get here today?
Absolutely, Jess. Thank you so much for having me. And what I will say quickly, guys, before I go into the whole teaching online and setting up a business and all that, is can I just get a thumbs up if possible? Just a reaction for people who are looking to start a business kind of soon, like you're doing this. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah. And can I get a thumbs up for people who are kind of thinking about it, but not sure that they want to do it? Okay, great. Lovely, kind of on limbo. Good, great. Okay, fabulous. And can I get a thumbs up for the really brave people who've left their jobs and are currently setting up a business? Okay, wow, good for you people. I love it.
Impressive.
Love that drive. Very good. Okay, so to start off a little bit about myself, I actually recognized a couple of names in there because I used to work with Jess and the team at the Tefl Institute. But a little bit about myself, I suppose. I've been teaching Tefl for over 8 or 9 years now. I started off in 2013 with a 120-hour Tefl course. At that time, the 120-hour was the be-all and end-all. It was the gold standard in Tefl training. We all know that has changed. And, you know, the quality of Tefl courses have definitely got better. But at the time I did it, it was a 120-hour Tefl course in 2013. I then went on to do a CELTA, which is kind of I suppose it's an Irish qualification for teaching English. Between 2014 and 2017, I then spent time in language schools for long-term stints in Malta, Germany, Turkey, and here in Ireland as well. I taught in Galway and Cork in a school. And then I kind of realized in that time between 2014 and 2017 that I didn't really want to be caught to one place. So I said, okay, I'm going to start teaching English online. And that was in around 2015. And in 2015, believe me, it was a foreign concept to teach online. And I know that seems strange now because we're all obsessed with Zoom and everybody's doing everything online. And obviously the pandemic changed the way we live completely. But at that time, it was strange. It was weird. So I definitely was in the start of the teaching English online kind of boom. And I've seen how it's progressed. I've seen how it's advanced up until today. So I started teaching English online in 2015 with a couple of good reputable companies. And then I decided to begin my own business then in 2016 on the side. So I decided, right, I'm teaching English online. I have a good job here, but I'm going to start this little side hustle on the side just to see how I go. I then got a job with the Tefl Institute of Ireland, and I worked with them for 2 years, basically providing people with the knowledge of Tefl and what it can do to your life and everything like that. Of course, I thoroughly enjoyed that because it was doing what I suppose what I live and breathe. Like Jess, I'm very passionate about Tefl, and that comes hand in hand with traveling. I think if you're a traveler, you're going to love it, and it's a great way to get around and see the world. But I did make the brave decision last November to fully leave my full 9-to-5 job and go fully and run my business and put 100% focus into it, which I think to run a really successful business, I think you do need to do that. it's definitely worth kind of building on the side for a small while. But I think if you want to go full 100%, you do need to kind of channel all your energy into it. So that is where I am now, and I'm over a year full-time into the business. And a little, I suppose, fact about myself is that I taught English online in over 21 countries.
Wow.
Which is probably
Only 21.
Yeah, it's probably the number one reason I do this, 100%, is that I can be anywhere in the world running this business and making money. And it's that freedom that I absolutely adore and love.
Fantastic. No, that's fantastic. It sounds like you just have a wealth of experience and the perfect person for this webinar. But it really just shows as well where it takes you. You know, Tefl really is the best passport in the world. So yeah, it's fantastic to hear. Kate, could you just give us, you know, the basics of what is teaching English online for newbies as well? And is there a market for it?
Absolutely. So I can see now, guys, people are putting some questions in the chat box, which is fantastic. Keep them coming in. And if I get to them, I will answer them as I go. If not, we can leave it to the Q&A at the end, but keep throwing them in. That's great. Because as interactive as you guys are, you know, it's your session, it's your questions, and the more you give, the more you're going to get. So please do ask away. Okay, so what is teaching English online? And I suppose, is there a market for it? Absolutely, hell yes. Just to give you a scope of what it kind of is, in 2010, it was around a $32 billion industry. That's 2010. In 2015, it was around 108 billion. It's projected in 2025 that it's going to be a 325 billion euro industry. And to be honest, I think that figure could be a little bit outdated in terms of not taking into account that we've all been completely online for the last 2 years, and it's just growing and growing and growing and growing. What does that mean? What do all those statistics mean? It means that there's a lot of market, a lot of need out there, a lot of demand. And this is something that, I mean, as part of being an entrepreneur and starting a business, you have to do a lot of market research, and you have to say, okay, is this the right time to start a business? You know, am I going to get customers? Is there a need for it? But if you think about it, guys, English is the business language of the world. It's the global language of the world. And I mean, some people would argue, I suppose, that Mandarin is up there as well. But in our part of the world, you know, in Ireland and in Europe and in America, you need to speak English to succeed. So, I mean, as long as our countries are always going to be intact, there's always going to be a need for more English teachers. It's an inevitable need, and it's a great time to start a business as well. And for those who are, I'm not sure where everybody is from here, if anybody can give a thumbs up there about if you're from Ireland, just a quick.
Should have a few, I think.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so for the people calling or dialing in from Ireland, 100%, guys, get on the Start Your Business train, because there is a massive support out there, massive support from local enterprise offices and things like that you can all avail of, that everybody's entitled to mentorship, business mentors, and it's all free. So that's something that you should definitely look out for.
Fantastic. No, that's great. Thanks, Kate. And just a question as well that we actually got from one of our students before this webinar. If you finished one of our Tefl courses and you're qualified, ready to go, but you don't have any teaching experience, is it still possible to set up your own business?
Yeah. So this is a good question. And I suppose this is something that everybody's wondering, is what do I need to set up a business? You know, am I qualified enough to start a business? What type of experience do I need? So my answer to that question is, and the beauty of starting a business is that nobody's checking your qualifications, right? Different to getting a 9-to-5 job where you have to hand in a CV and say, right, this is what I do, and you need to get references and all that. Nobody's testing you. Right? Nobody is looking at your CV. It's you with you. So if you think you're capable, then I would say you're capable, right? But I do have a couple of, I suppose, tips. If you're somebody who may be unemployed or kind of working on the business, or if you're in a current job, I would 100% start working with an online company. Even if you're doing your own business on the side. And the reason I say that is because you get to learn how it works, right? You have to start thinking outside the box and say, okay, I'm working with this company now, but I'm going to take note of how they get their students. How do their payment systems work? How much do they charge for a lesson? How do they train their teachers? Because these are all things that you're going to ultimately have to do. So by working with an established online company, you can kind of get the insights of how it really works on the other end. Okay. So I would suggest everybody working simultaneously, especially for the first couple of months with an established online company while you're setting up your own, right? What are they doing with their social media? Do they send newsletters to advertise? These are all things that you need to be kind of thinking outside the box for and say, okay, note that down. I'm going to do that with my company. Note that down. I'm doing that with my company. And so it's a very good idea to get a job with an online company at the same time. Rory, which online companies can you suggest? Yes, that depends on, I suppose, what type of business you want to do as well. And this is, I suppose I'll be veering off a little bit, guys, but have a pen and paper to hand because I'll be saying loads of things and just make sure you're getting them down, right? And again, you can go back on the YouTube, but just to write them down. So with starting a business as well, it's very difficult to say, I'm going to go out there and start teach English. That's too general. There are thousands of people teaching English, right? So how are you going to set yourself apart from the crowd? How are you going to niche yourself? So I know a lot of you have already enrolled onto some of the Tefl Institute courses, but what I would be suggesting is pick your niche. And that means, okay, what am I going to zone in on? Am I going to teach English to kids? Is that my strong point? Am I going to teach business English, which is what I do, right? The reason I do that is because I know I can charge a lot more money, right? Am I going to teach exam English? So am I going to be an IELTS company? Am I going to be teach English only for adults? Am I going to be a teach English only for B1 and upwards? Am I going to be a pronunciation expert? My advice to all of you guys is to try and pick a niche, because you'll be able to target customers a lot easier than going the whole general scope. It's very difficult to do it that way. So I would definitely choose a niche. For all the people here who have a background in business, let's say you've worked 5 or 6 years in a business setting, go for business English, right? You do your TEFL course and you have the business experience together. You more than anyone knows what it's like to work in a business environment. You're going to be able to teach that much easier and have the knowledge behind you. If you're somebody who's worked with kids for a very long time, go for young learners, right? Because you're going to have that experience behind you as well as the TEFL course. If you're somebody who has good training in IELTS, I don't know here, does anybody here, thumbs up again quickly, if you have experience in teaching IELTS or an exam subject in English? Oh yeah, okay, a couple of people. Okay, my advice to you guys, if you're good at it and you like teaching the exam subjects, go for that niche when you're setting up a business, because people pay good big money for when you're preparing them for exams. And how you would advertise yourselves is an English for IELTS business, right? That's what you want to go. So figure out your niche, number one, and then try and get a job with a company. And that brings me back to your question, Rory, apologies. If you're business English, I would work for a company like Fluentify, because they are a company that really focuses on business English. You can check out their curriculum. You can see what modules they're teaching. You can see, do they do private lessons? Do they do group lessons? Do they do, and you can check all these things with the company, right? And if you're a teacher for them, you're going to get an even deeper insight into how you're going to do it. Okay. Dave, how do you apply for specific business English jobs or companies who are in that niche? Dave, Fluentify. Email Fluentify and tell them that you are a qualified business English tutor and you want work, right? That's how you're going to do that. Tara, to get hired with an online company, is it sufficient to have specialized TEFL qualification, or do you need a degree as well? So this is the little bit difference there when you're setting up a company or when you're going to work for an online company. If you're going for an online company, they do require you to have certain requirements, and that depends on whatever company you go for. If you're starting your own business, as I said, no one is judging you but you, so you do not need a degree. Okay. I personally think that sometimes degrees can mean nothing. If you're working in a business background for 10 years, you're going to have a lot more experience than somebody who's done business for 1 year. Yeah,
very true. Just as well, you were saying there, Kate, a really good point is yeah, teaching yourself first online to kind of scope out the market and you know, get your feet into the water basically. And if anyone needs advice on you know, teaching English online and getting started, or wants some recommendations or anything like that, you can email us for advice as well, the recruitment team here. You can also book a call with myself and we can discuss how, you know, you want to get started teaching for one of these companies, or online tutoring or anything like that, before you take the step of setting up your own business as well.
Great. Thanks, Jess. There's just one more question gone in there. Is there a company that specializes in scientific English? And that's from Belle. Belle, I don't know the answer to that question. What I would do is maybe just have a little Google and have a look at the companies who do focus in on scientific English. It's a big industry. And if you can't find that many companies, then that's amazing, because that means you have no competition and you're in that niche yourself, and you should start promoting yourself. Okay. Okay, so there's a good few questions there about going with companies and things like that. So what I will do is, as Jess said, give Jess a call if you're looking to find work with online English companies. I'm just going to go, because I'm conscious of time, I'm going to go into the kind of setting up the online business part yourself.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, so you can pop me an email, guys, or give us a call and we can sort you out on any recommendations and get you started with teaching English online.
Absolutely. So guys, the steps to setting up your own company, I'm going to start very, very basic, and I'm going to assume that nobody has any money to invest into starting their own business, right? So I'm going to give you a list of free things that you can do to set up your company. Okay. The first thing I'm going to say is that kudos to everybody taking the step to starting your own business. It's not easy and it can be difficult, but well done. The second thing I would say is, first thing, tell everybody you're starting a business. Number one, it's going to hold you accountable, right? You're going to say, oh, Jesus, I told everybody I was starting a business now, and I better start that business and I better start doing the work I'm supposed to be doing. So it's going to hold you accountable and get you moving with it. Second thing, you don't know the value of your own network, right? Tell people what you're doing and they'll say, oh, Jesus, I know John down the road and he's looking for something like that. You do not know who's around you, right? So tell everybody, hold yourself accountable and let people know what you're doing, okay? The next thing I would then do is, it's kind of simple, but kind of figure out your niche. Let's say, I'm just going to take me for an example. I said, right, I'm going to go down the business English route. So the next thing you want to do is figure out, I suppose, a company name and what value you bring. Okay, company name and what value you bring. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to set up a social media presence. This is even before a website, right? If we can't afford to build a website yet, the first thing you can do for absolutely free is social media. Okay, it's free to everybody. So what you're going to do then is you're going to set up, you're going to create a logo for your business. Now we're all asking, how do I create a logo, right? I'm going to put into the chat here. There is an excellent tool called Canva. It's free and you can work away. It's very easy to use and you can make a logo. If you have absolutely no design skills and you're not good at art and you're like me, then what you can do is you can go onto a website. Everybody, please take this website down. It's called fiverr.com. I'm sure probably you already know it anyway. Very, very cheap work that you can get done. So you can get people who advertise their services and things like they will make your logo for you. So you write to them. It might cost you €30 and you say, this is my business. This is what I do. Can you create a couple of logo ideas for me? And then you choose the logo, right? It's a very good way to get that done, okay? There's another site as well. It's a little bit more expensive. It's called Upwork. So have a look at those, Fiverr and Upwork. Upwork is a little bit more professional and a little bit more expensive. I would start off with Fiverr if you're kind of doing it on a low budget. So Canva or Fiverr there, guys. So you've created your logo, you have your business name, and you know who you're targeting, right? You're going to go business, or you're going to go for kids, or you're going to go for teenagers, or IELTS, or whatever it is. Then you're setting up your social media accounts, right? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you do not have a LinkedIn, you're doing something wrong. You need to set up your LinkedIn now, right? That's where everybody's hanging out. That's where businesses are hanging out. That's where people are hanging out. And it's a fantastic way to advertise yourself, okay? So on all these social media pages, all business pages, that's all free. You're going to have your logo and you're going to have exactly what you advertise, right? This way, if you meet somebody on the street, if you meet somebody on an aeroplane, and they say, how do I contact you? You can give them the page, right? So you need a page, you need some sort of channel where people can ask you. This is if you don't have a website, right? If we can't afford a website right now, you need some channel for people to go to and how you're going to communicate with them. So we're going to use Facebook or we're going to use LinkedIn, right? Once you've captured your leads, okay, so once you've captured the people who want to engage with you, the next thing I would do to look a little bit professional is I would be setting up a Gmail and a G Suite with your business name, okay? So if you haven't done that, once you've figured out your name, so that's like kate@everywhereenglish.eu or jess@theteflinstitute.com, okay? It's easy to do, all right? You just Google how to set up a Gmail with business. It's very easy to follow. This is the next step. This is going to make you look a little bit more professional and a little bit more of a presence. Okay. Okay. I'm just having a look here. Okay, brilliant. So Canva, Fiverr, Upwork, Gmail. Okay. So once people have reached you on your social media page and then they email you for a lesson, how am I going to deliver this lesson? Okay. Dominica, I'll get to your question just one moment. The next thing is how you're going to deliver this lesson. Zoom, guys. Zoom is a free platform that everybody can have. Set it up with your business Gmail. So then your Zoom is in a business account. Okay. And that's how you're going to conduct your lessons, again, for free. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best, is it, for teaching, because you have the whiteboard and everything. Would you recommend Zoom is the best? Yeah, okay.
I think so. It has all the functions. It's the most, I think it's the one that everybody uses, so people feel familiar with it as well, which is nice. And as you said, the whiteboard function, the sharing screens and things like that, the chat transcripts you can save and send to your student afterwards and everything like that. So it's
there. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So guys, you have your business, and this will be familiar for people who've worked in the corporate world before, but let's say you have your Gmail and your new business account set up. With that Gmail, you are going to get a Google Drive, right? With this Google Drive, every lesson plan you create, you are going to save here, okay? Do not save them on your desktop, because if you save them on your desktop and your laptop goes, your lesson plans go, right? So you're going to start every single lesson you do with the student. You're going to save these lesson plans on this drive and start recycling them, right? Just so you have them all there and everything's all in the one space. And I always said, and I said when I was going to start my business, I wasn't going to do things 50% or half-assed. I'm going to do things as I mean to go on and, act as a legitimate business, have everything in place. And even to you might say, oh, I don't need to track that, or I don't need to write that down because I only have one student. No, write down the student, track it in your thing, plan the lessons and do it properly from the beginning, because that's going to follow through onto all your lessons. Okay. Okay. Next thing, guys, is
sorry, probably my connection is a bit bad there. Sorry. No, I was just wondering, yourself, Kate, would you recommend, I know there's a lot of pre-made lesson plans and everything out there, but would you recommend that, or, building your own lessons? I prefer to build my own lessons personally, because I know where I'm coming from and it's easier to teach. But how did you get started? If you could just briefly maybe mention when it came to lessons.
That's a great question. And I think that depends on I mean, like, Jess, you've taught before and I've taught for a long time. So I feel like I know curriculums and things like that. But if you're somebody who's starting off and a little bit unsure about to create a curriculum, we feel a little bit nervous, am I creating the right lesson plan and things like that? What I would do is, you know, those course books. For example, if you teach at a school, you can get course books that are for all A1. You can get course books for all A2. You can get course books for level B1. I would actually buy the physical copy. And I would have a stack of books. This might be a little bit of an investment at the start, right? So you're going to have A1 curriculum book, A2 curriculum book. I love English file. Okay, it goes from A1 to C2, and I think they do a business book as well. But that just means by having the physical books in your hand, say you get a student, right, and they come to you and they're B1, you're going to have 12 weeks of material in that book, so you don't have to go reinventing the wheel every single time, right? And eventually you'll find your own style. But if you're somebody who kind of wants just to start with that, I would recommend getting those curriculum books. Very handy for material.
That's great.
This is going a little bit off the topic because it's not about setting up your own online business, but just for everybody on this call, if you start lessons with somebody, the first lesson you should absolutely be doing with every single student you have is a needs assessment lesson, right? Your first lesson with any student, and as a business, I would offer this for free, right? So you're offering them a free 30-minute consultation, and you're going to say, I'm going to be giving you your English level, and I'm going to be giving you a needs analysis, which means I can tell you what you need to do in order to improve your English, right? So you're giving them a 30-minute free lesson. Yes, it's 30 minutes of your time, but you're also giving yourself a chance to sell yourself to them and say, trust me, right? So a way to get someone on board, what I would do is on your Instagram, on your Twitter, on leaflets, on brochures downtown, right? You're offering 30 minutes free English level assessment. Contact me here. And whatever way of channel you have, Instagram or website, put it on the leaflet, right? If you have no money at all, guys, print out an A4 page, like, and stick it to a wall. Do you know what I mean? You can go really basic if you want to, but I would definitely recommend Vistaprint. They do very, very, very cheap business cards and very, very, very cheap flyers. And it's very easy to design them. They have a really cool design system on Vistaprint where you can put in your logo and say what you want to advertise, and always have them in hand. Never, ever leave the house without your business cards, okay? You could be talking to anybody, anywhere, and you want to be able to say, yeah, this is who I am and this is what I do. You never know, right? So just to go, I lost my train of thought there. What was it going? Oh, the needs assessment. Yes, you're offering a free 30-minute consultation. Figure out, create a needs assessment template. There's loads online, right? What do you want to do? What level you are? And then you send them a report. So after you've completed your 30-minute consultation, you say, hi, John, it was lovely to speak with you. I have conducted your needs analysis and I can confirm that you're this level. In order to move to the next level, blah, 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 to meet your goals, you should do a 12-week curriculum, which I can do for you. This is the price that we offer. Let me know if you're interested in progressing or moving forward, right? Because you've already given them a lot of information and they're going to be eager, right? It's like when you do a consultation for the gym, you know, and you give them weight and your height, and then they say, right, 12 weeks plan, and you're like, yeah, right, I'm in. Do you know?
Definitely have that plan, you know, for their goals and everything. It's very enticing.
Absolutely. And Celeste, there I can see, how about offering the first lesson free? Is it expected by the students? I don't think it's expected, but I think you should do it. I think you should do it, especially at the start of a business, because they don't trust you. You've no reputation, you've no referrals. So I think there's nothing wrong with giving 30 minutes of your time. And Kay there, just something people to keep in mind, 30-minute consultation can also be used to see if the student is a good fit for you too. When you have your own business, your clients need to suit you too. Absolutely, Kay. Very good point there. And it's true. It's true, especially for the likes of me. I work with companies, right? So I'm dealing with HR managers when you think about it. So I must figure out, okay, is this person going to be good for my business? So very good point, Kay. Yeah. Okay, so
We have another question in there.
yeah, I'm just going to continue just with small bit with a few of the tips there. Yeah,
Perfect.
so
We can come back to those. Yeah, no problem.
brilliant. Thank you, Jess. So as I said, think of your brand, your purpose, your vibe. What are you doing? What is your color scheme? What are you going to put on these leaflets? And how you're going to advertise yourself. So how the next step is you've set up your social media presence, you've got your leaflets printed, you've got your business cards printed, you know what you're going to offer, and you can tell people what value you bring. How the hell are you going to bring students to you? How do you do it? So organic marketing, guys, there's so much to be said for organic marketing. As I said, friends referral. Okay, you have to know somebody who needs to learn English. It might be your cousin, it might be your second cousin, it might be someone down the road. And you say to them, look, I'm offering a service. I can do lessons for you with free if you can tell people about my business. If you leave me a review, reviews are key, right? People aren't going to trust you. Everyone's obsessed with Google reviews and things like that, Facebook reviews. So you can offer, you know, I'll give you an extra lesson if there's going to be a review. So tell everybody, give a 30-minute lesson as an incentive. If you have taught anybody, if there's anybody here that you can think of, if you've taught in language schools or you've used your Tefl before in some circumstance, email them or let them know that you're starting a business and that you'd appreciate the support. You know, if you have people that you've worked with before, look, I'm starting a business and I really want to, you know, you trust me. So do you want to come on in with me and my business? You'd be surprised that so many people will be so supportive of you. So that's what I would do. Leaflets, guys, think about the local primary, secondary schools. Teacher meetings, right? Think about your town now. Think around you. Think about all the non-natives. Think about all the Ukrainian crisis that's happened this year. Think about how many people need English lessons. Advertise yourself on notice boards in schools, notice boards in community centres, Ukrainian hubs, you know, all these places that where you can think you can put a leaflet or you can put a poster to let people know where you are. Okay, that's fine. If you want to go a step further, as I said, business cards, flyers, if you want to add a little bit more money and invest something before you go, eventually create your own website. To be honest with you, I don't know what the going rate at the moment is for a basic website, but I'm sure you have friends who are coders, who are developers, things like that. Ask them how much to cost to build a website, things like that. I know I paid for mine. Now, God, this was 2015. So what's that? 7 or 8 years ago. I paid €1,000 back then. But I know things have got a lot more advanced and people know how to do things a lot better. So I think it's changed. But I think having a website makes you very professional. So the first thing, if you have a little bit of money behind you to invest, I would go down the website route. And if you don't, social media is great for now, and just a channel and an email, because that's all free for now. But once you start getting students in, the investment should go towards your website.
And when you say social media, would you start with Instagram or Facebook?
Both. I would do both, but I would put my energy depending on your niche, right? If you're going after business people, you're going to go on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If you're going after adults, or if you're going about people who are traveling, you're going to go on Instagram, right? If you're going to go after people, young learners, you're going to target parents, right? You're not going to be targeting the children. So you're going to go where parents hang out, you know? So that's where you have to think about, where are my customers living? Where are they working? Where are they going? And go there, right? The one here, I live in South Africa, we speak English as a medium of instruction. Isn't trying to source students supposed to be online? I don't really know what you mean there, Praise, if you don't mind rephrasing the question.
Yeah, maybe just send it again there.
Yeah. And Dave, at least 2 years teaching experience needed for Fluentify, just so people are aware. Yes, that's what they say on their website. But absolutely, I got a job with Fluentify with no experience, right? And they said 2 years experience. So they always say that. People always say that just because they want high quality candidates coming into them. What I would be doing is, I understand this isn't the standard way of applying, but I'm an excellent teacher and I'm an excellent fit for your company. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be outside the box, standing out from the crowd, even if you don't fit the requirements. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Always
Yeah.
apply. I say always apply.
Absolutely. And for people in Ireland, again, I don't know how it works in the UK, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same. If you've done your social media and you've done your website, it only costs €50 to register your company on the CRO,
Okay.
right? So this gets you a registration number and an official business number. It's €50, right? And you can register yourself as a sole trader. And it just, again, makes everything a little bit more professional for tax purposes and all that kind of thing. Again, for people in Ireland, this is a good hint. If you are currently if you're unemployed and you're on social welfare, there is a thing in social welfare called short-term enterprise allowance. Everyone look it up, or long-term enterprise allowance. This allows you to start a business and they will pay you for 9 months while starting your business.
Okay.
And you can bring money in legally. It just gives you 9 months of, I think it's about €210 a week or something like that. But it's called short-term enterprise allowance. And it allows you legally to be working on a business. So that's an excellent help. And they also give you €1,000 grant for office equipment. So if you need a desk, if you need a laptop, if you need a phone, they give you €1,000.
Oh, I did class.
Sorry there, I'll just ask someone, could they put themselves on mute? I think the audio's just popped up there.
Yeah. So
Perfect. Okay, sorry, Kate. Yeah.
No. So Dominica, how do you register a business? Look up CRO, registering your business Ireland, and it's very simple. Okay. Anna, did you hire an accountant to do your company taxes, or was it you were able to do it by themselves? I hired an accountant because I'm useless at numbers.
Me too.
Some people are pretty good and can do it themselves, especially when you don't have many customers. You're not overwhelmed with customers and numbers. Yeah. And it can be quite easy to do it. It's just numbers aren't my thing.
English is your thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not for me. But I mean, if you do accountancy and bookkeeping at the start of a business is it's simple enough. So if you do have any kind of experience with numbers or feel like you're good at it, then I wouldn't bother with the accountant for a while, because there's no need. There are also a lot of, if you Google accountants for startups, there are a lot of new qualified accountants who will do work for free to get their own experience, build their own experience. So they're very good people to get in touch with. Okay. Helen, thank you. Revenue website provides a lot of details on self-employed tax returns, and if you call them, they will guide you through step by step. Brilliant. Thanks, Helen. I didn't know that piece of information. That's fantastic.
No,
very,
it sounds like there's a lot of aids out there, which is really great to kind of get you started, and you're not alone. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Exactly. And as I said as well, for people in Ireland, the local enterprise office offer a lot of courses for people starting businesses. Avail of them. They're free. Avail of them. Like there's a start your own business course, there's a bookkeeping course, there's a marketing course, how to market yourself on Instagram. So many resources that we don't know about, right? So local enterprise office, everybody who is on those, definitely look that up as well. Victoria, what happens when you register your company in Ireland but end up moving around the world? Very good question. So nothing. As long as you were registered your company and you're getting payment and you're paying taxes in Ireland, it's no problem. Now, if you move somewhere for like longer than 6 months and you have to register, if you want to register as a citizen in another country, that's a different game. But if you're just kind of traveling around, it's no bother. Okay.
Very good. No, it's fantastic that you can still travel and, on your own agenda as well. I think it's the best part of it.
Absolutely. And guys, I know I'm conscious of time again. So what can we do to help you guys kind of get out there and get started? And what the Tefl Institute of Ireland can do for you. So 100%, as I said before, if you're somebody with a regular TEFL course, let's say 120, or you have your 180-hour level 5, I would be getting the specialist courses and pick your niche. So if it's the business English, or if it's the young learners, or if it's the exam English, or whatever niche you want to go down, there are courses specialized for that, and they're extremely helpful. There's also a Teaching English Online course that, if you're new to it, very, very helpful as well. So I would get that course. At the moment, the girls were telling me in the office that there's a very, very good course. And it's actually, one part of it is with myself sometimes as well. So the 300-hour course, okay, this includes if you're somebody who hasn't, actually, thumbs up quickly, who here doesn't have a TEFL qualification? Okay, some people don't have a TEFL qualification, okay. Okay, that's something you definitely need to be doing if you want to start up your own business, even though people don't know that you won't have it, and it's not on paper. To have your own knowledge, it's extremely helpful, right? Kay, I'm studying the 310, right? You've the best one in the best one in the biz, so well done. Okay, so as I said, there is an excellent offer at the moment for people who don't have it on the 300-hour, okay? And the TEFL Institute of Ireland are very kindly giving away a 10-hour practical teaching course for free with that, okay? If anybody here hasn't done the 10-hour virtual TEFL course, do it. I am a trainer of one of the courses. There's also 3 other trainers, but if you're somebody who has no experience, please do it. It's relatively very inexpensive. It's a 2-day course, and you are basically learning. You've done everything in theory, but it's about how to actually deliver the lessons online with confidence. This is for people who don't have experience teaching, okay? And we can put the link into the chat there in a minute for that 10-hour virtual course. Please, I'm telling people who haven't done any experience, get on it, right?
Oh, it's a great idea. And even just to get comfortable being online, being on Zoom and having those sessions, I just think that's fantastic.
Absolutely, Jess. And I just see a question here, Dave. So would the idea just be to get the cert, do it as a side job until maybe the pay is good enough to do it full time? Dave, you're on the ball wherever Dave is here. I can't see you, but Dave, you have a mind of an excellent idea anyway. So to get the cert, do it as a side job until maybe the pay is good enough to do it full time. Like, it's hard enough to drop your job overnight if there's certainly overpay in lessons. I'm doing the 300, but stopped doing it when I was told you could not do online full time as it won't cover the cost of living. That's a lie. It will definitely cover the cost of living. Dave, I'm covering my own cost of living and living quite comfortably. I mean, I suppose it depends on where you go to, okay, and how you're getting that revenue in. I wouldn't stop doing the 300-hour, Dave. If you it's an excellent course, and all the niche courses are brilliant. But yeah, like you said, if you're somebody who's kind of a little bit afraid to leave their job, not afraid, that's not a nice word. I mean, who's not in a position,
maybe,
apprehensive or not in the position to leave their job, absolutely start this on the side. Spend 15 hours in a weekend or in the evening kind of working it up, building your traction, getting your name out there, and then when you're ready to leave the job, you can do so. For the people who've been brave enough to go out there and just do it, local enterprise office, short-term enterprise allowance with social welfare, they're all ways of getting payment, okay, while starting up your business. So definitely look into that, those people. Okay, and as well, yeah.
Probably just one more question there, but I think again, it's just about the companies. So if you email myself at recruitment@tefl.ie, I can give you some recommendations to reputable companies as well to avoid any scams or anything like that. So it's a great question. But if you want to email myself, I can advise on that.
Yeah. There's a question there. Anna, if you are registered as a company in Ireland, do you need to be resident in Ireland for minimum 6 months, or can you travel to different countries full-time, not being tax resident in any Do you know what, Anna? I'm not going to answer that question 100% because I might be giving false information. What I would do is maybe ring the citizens information or revenue just to get a full answer on that, because I think you can, but I don't want to give that information. So just please ring citizens information just to double check that. Tara, do you have to do a basic TEFL course or can you specialize straight away? So good question. In terms of value for money, Tara, I would definitely be going into the 300 hour just because it's good price now, and you'll get more money that way. If you're specialized, you're going to be able to charge more for your business, or even if you're working with a company, you're going to get paid more. So you'd need to be going down the specialist route anyway. So I would go for the 300 hour, Tara. Start with the 180, and then you'll be able to add on the specialist courses, but they'll be included in the package. So I would do that, Tara. And you also get the 10-hour virtual course as part of that, which I highly recommend. Okay. Let's see another questions. This video will be on YouTube, Jen. Yeah. So on the Tefl Institute page. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have it recorded. Don't worry, so you can watch it back.
Helen, thanks again for the link on tax residency.
Oh, perfect, Susanna, Helen. Fantastic.
Jane, is levels important, and do you think the industry and research will cover atypical learners? When you say levels, do you mean the English learners levels? If you just want to elaborate on that one. Okay. Quickly, any more questions there? Because I'm conscious of time.
There? Yeah, we'll probably wrap it up there soon.
Yeah.
Is the IELTS course more popular than the Cambridge English exam courses? I guess in terms of for your students, what would they ask for?
Great question. I find with my business, the one we're selling the most is IELTS. Now, I don't know, is that my market? So I work mostly with Spain, France, and Italy. It's the way I've niched. So I focus on business English with Spanish, French, and Italian students. And I find IELTS is the most popular for me, and it's fantastic because if I am teaching a business to do general English, I can nearly double the price for IELTS because there's so much work involved and because it's so specialist.
I can imagine.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So will we wrap it up?
I will.
I think.
What I would like to do as well, just one thing, Jess, I'm going to post in here, is guys, if you enjoyed this webinar or if you learned from it, we would really, really, really appreciate the review. Okay, just so we can let people know when we're running the next one. I put the link into the chat there, but we will send it in a follow-up email as well with the YouTube link and whatnot. And I'd really appreciate if you left a review, and if you could mention my name and say Kate was absolutely brilliant, she's just a superstar, that would be great too. Okay.
Absolutely. And I'm just putting in there, guys, in the chat box, we just have our coupon code just for the webinar attendees. So you get an extra €20 off our courses from 120 hours to 310 hours. So if you want to get started today, you can use this coupon code as well. So we're just going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much. If you have any further questions, you can still email us, don't worry, at hello@tefl.ie. And you can also give us a call, okay? I'd just like to thank Kate. Thank you so much for your time. I know you have a tutoring session after this, so we'll leave you go. But really great advice and great tips, so thank you so much.
No worries, Jess. Thank you everyone for attending. And what I'll do is I'll throw in my LinkedIn there, guys, as well. So if anybody has any questions on setting up a business, feel free to get in touch. I've done it. It's been tough, and any bit of help and advice I can give anybody, I'm happy to do so.
Great. I think even if they can visit your website as well to have a look at how you kind of, your website set up and everything. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kate. And thank you everyone for coming today. Fantastic turnout. Thank you all so much for your questions.
Thanks very much, guys. Best of luck.
Bye now. Thank you.